Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. It's time, once again, for another depressing dose of dismal Disney. I'll first wish everyone a Merry Christmas since I'm recording this on December 25th. So out of obvious desperation to potentially generate a positive response from the general public, Disney decided to release a sneak peek of one of its new songs from its upcoming 2025 movie Snow White that features that woke identity politics activist and cinematic kiss of death actress Rachel Zegler. But unfortunately for Disney, within hours of being posted on Christmas Day, the sneak peek video is already being heavily ratioed as of the time that I am recording this video. But before proceeding, if you're enjoying this video, please consider pressing the like button, and if you'd like to see more of my content, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. And I want to convey my deepest thanks and appreciation to everyone who has subscribed. While I can't really show much of the sneak peek video due to potential copyright infringement claims, I will show a very brief clip of what this upcoming nightmarish movie contains. So hold onto your hats, folks! Did seeing that make you just want to run right out and pre-purchase tickets to see Snow White? That's what Disney is hoping that you'll want to do. But I somehow doubt that because even though Rachel Zegler doesn't have a bad singing voice, her comments about this upcoming movie that she gave at Disney's 2022 D23 Expo didn't sit very well with most people.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is...
She's not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Then her attacks on more than half of this nation's electorate that she published on her personal social media account immediately after the 2024 US presidential election, which she then apologized for a week later using carefully crafted language that was probably written for her by Disney, as I had talked about in a video that I had released at the time, have made her quite literally a cinematic kiss of death, because a growing number of people don't want to see her. And her ability to destroy a movie's potential box office performance was clearly illustrated by the abysmally received low-budget movie Y2K, which only ran in movie theaters for 2 weeks before being yanked from theaters before last weekend because in all likelihood there was no way that the movie was going to be able to break even, as I briefly mentioned in my box office roundup video that I released on Christmas Eve for the weekend that ended on December 22nd. Let's face it, Rachel Zegler has a very toxic personality, and not only do most people not like being around that, it's diametrically opposed to the character of Snow White, who has always been a symbol of innocence and a desire to find true love, until Disney decided to bastardize the story into a revolutionary girl boss narrative for its upcoming 2025 Snow White movie. And in an age where actors and writers are afraid of losing their jobs to AI, this movie has very unattractive and unappealing CGI-generated dwarf characters instead of live actors, to appease the ramblings of Peter Dinklage, who isn't even associated with the Snow White movie. So only after being released about 9 hours ago on YouTube as of the time that I am recording this video on Christmas Day, Disney's sneak peek of Rachel Zegler singing in Snow White is already ratioed with 1,700 likes versus 3,700 dislikes, which is a ratio of around 2.2 to 1 against. So the sneak peek has already fallen in line with the trailer that Disney released 3 weeks ago, which now has 33,000 likes versus 823,000 dislikes, and which is a ratio of 24.9 to 1 against, as well as the teaser for the movie that was released in August that currently has 100,000 likes versus 1.4 million dislikes, for a ratio of 14 to 1 against. How much more negative feedback does Disney need to understand that hardly anyone is interested in seeing their abysmal DEI modernized live-action Snow White? What makes Snow White popular is the original fairy tale and Disney's original 1937 animated movie, not this piece of trash that's going to premiere in theaters on March 21st, 2025, which is why I strongly believe that the movie is probably going to be a huge flop. But how well do you think Disney's 2025 live-action Snow White is going to do in theaters? Are you planning to see the movie, or are you going to avoid it like the plague? Please let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to each and every one of you who has subscribed to support this channel. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, and Blue Sky by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.